Welcome world to the Likewize podcast. It's your boy Tuu Ra. Today we have a special guest that we're going to have a lovely conversation with, Chardelle Moore.
What's good, King? How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Welcome to Brooklyn.
Brooklyn is a vibe, no man.
DC
Brooklyn
in the house.
is a vibe.
DMV in the house.
DMV, yes.
All
yes.
right. How was your trip here?
It was good. Nice and relaxing.
Okay. Did you read or sleep?
I did a little both.
And
some meditation.
Oh, meditation. Okay.
Y'all know me.
Okay. We're going to talk about that.
Okay.
All right. So for the people that are, watching this for the first time, all right, I want you to, go ahead and just give a little brief introduction on, who you are and what you stand for, what you do, and then we'll flow from there.
Absolutely. My name is Chardelle Moore. I am the founder and CEO of Motivational Moore. We're an award-winning multimedia and communications company aimed to elevate the human consciousness. Yes, I am a multi-disciplinary artist, a storyteller, a television anchor, motivational speaker, writer, poet, director, and overall visionary.
Lovely. Love it.
So that's the short version.
That's the short version. All right. So, let's talk about that, right? So as a multidisciplinary artist, how did you get started or discover that talent within yourself?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
That's such a good question. I've always been a serial creative. Like since I was a little girl, I've always had a passion for the arts. And I think it started when I was like 2 years old, just writing and just performing. I was always on stage doing something.
Center of attention.
Always. And, I just love creativity. I think creativity is such a profound effect. Everything that we see was once a thought. And I think as creators, most of us are blessed with multiple disciplines. Mm-hmm. And for me, the exploration of the mind allows me to create on different dimensions. Mm-hmm. So my background actually, before starting Motivational Moore, I was a television anchor for years at the Fox affiliate in Baltimore. And I always did my own thing on the side, motivational speaking, poetry, all of that stuff, because the art is in you. When you don't do your art, you feel like something is missing. Mm-hmm. And when I started Motivational Moore, I wanted to create a platform intersecting my creative properties on multiple disciplines. And for me, it's really important to have that message to creatives that you can use multiple works to create your vision.
Absolutely.
Because each and every one of us are blessed with divine gifts. Mm-hmm. And I say gifts for a reason, but a lot of times we've been so conditioned that you can only stick to one thing. Mm-hmm. And I think that you can do multiple things, but also when you're doing multiple things, you have to concentrate on one thing at a time. So you can still do multiple things, but I feel like
in phases and cycles in a way.
Yeah, because everything in life is seasons. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
absolutely. I can agree with that.
Yes.
Well, let's talk about TV. I mean, that's interesting, right?
Yeah.
I remember we spoke briefly and you mentioned working with BET at one point in your career.
Yeah.
So let's start there. How was that experience?
That was great. That was right after I graduated college. I started off as an intern at BET, then they hired me as a production assistant. Oh, nice. So I learned the ropes behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. I actually began my TV career in elementary school. I was our morning news school anchor, and then I later on hosted a local children's television show.
Not a shy born here.
Not a one. So TV has always been what I've done. Mm-hmm. And I think the great thing about TV, it's a wonderful platform. I've always been me. Mm-hmm. I never had to be anybody else but me. A lot of people ask me that. But I think that the world is changing.
Absolutely.
And the world is changing to digital. Mm-hmm. And there's so much power in the digital space. And if you think about it, TV and digital is almost the same thing. Because when you go to simplicity, what is it really? It's really a camera in front of you. Yeah. So
media.
It's media. What we're doing now is just media. Mm-hmm. So television was a great experience. Started off as intern at BT, hosted an online Caribbean music show called Accent TV Top 5 Video Music Countdown Show. Okay.
And you were like
I was the host. I was the host. Okay. And
who were some people you interviewed there?
Well, it wasn't like an interview show. It was more like a a video music countdown show. Yeah.
Like 106 in Park.
Yeah, type of vibe. Yeah. But we had like one guest, but it wasn't like that. It was more of like a video screen and like, hey guys, So I did that. Mm-hmm. And then eventually I hosted a show called DC Hotspots on the CW affiliate in DC, where I covered like arts and entertainment and interviewed like political figures, entertainers, actresses, you name it. Hosted a show on Cali TV, which is focused on the African diaspora. Did that. Worked at CBS Radio.
This is all in DMV, by the way.
Yeah, this is all in DMV. And so I was basically freelancing. I was just like learning the ropes of the business before I got my full-time job at Fox 45. Yeah. And I did that from 2014 to 2019. And I was a host, I was a reporter, I was a producer, and a lifestyle anchor.
Lovely.
So a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I've seen you on some of those episodes. A lot of energy.
Yeah, always.
A lot of energy. Love it. I love it. So let's talk about like the transition. I mean, it's a wonderful time to be, on the screen as an artist or, creative or media person, public figure, because I'm sure you can relate. In those times prior to social media becoming so popular, you kind of had to rely on these corporate outlets.
Oh, yeah.
Would you agree?
Absolutely.
So now today is the thing where, you can just open an Instagram account, start a YouTube channel, and boom, is either you or if your team, how to market well.
All facts.
That's all you need, right? Yeah. So how was that transition from you? Because I know your last corporate gig was
2019
at
Fox. Yeah. Right? Before I made the big transition, I'm like, I got to start my own multimedia and communications company. And I just had this vision and I could not explain it. And God was telling me, Shah, you have to jump. And this is the thing for everybody who's watching this, who's listening to this, the intuition guides you. Mm-hmm. And there's certain things that you cannot explain, right? On the physical world. But in the spiritual world, within yourself, within your consciousness, you know.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. And I said, I have to start my own thing. And I wanted to start a multimedia company that focused on elevating the consciousness, And when I was talking to people about it, they were like, wait, what are you doing? You're going to leave your job as a TV anchor to focus on elevating the human consciousness. But I just had this epiphany. And I also understood the importance of divine timing, kings and queens, and the market. We're living in a place, if you have courage, if you have willpower, and you have belief, you can do amazing things.
Absolutely.
And I've always had the mindset, whatever I wanted in life, I was going to put in that work.
Right.
It does not matter. Yeah. And that's the thing. It doesn't matter who you are, where you have, what you have ever, overcame or going through in life. The power of the human spirit is so profound.
Absolutely.
So you can literally do anything, but you have to be willing
to
learn and do the work. Entrepreneurship is not easy. I'm learning something literally, Tuu Ra, every single day.
Multiple times a day. Absolutely.
But you know what's deeper than the entrepreneurship? It's because I'm also on this inward journey. The more you look within yourself, the better you can create, the better that you can be. But it requires you to look within and say, who do I want to be?
Absolutely.
Let me create myself. Because that's what we're doing every day. We are creating ourselves through our actions, through everything. So I understood that this is the time for me to step out on faith and create my own dimensions.
That's amazing. So yeah, you mentioned consciousness. That's my kind of subject.
No.
So let's talk about that.
Yes.
Elevating consciousness. But let's start with you. When I think of consciousness, I think of spirituality.
Absolutely.
What is your interpretation or your experience and definition of spirituality? What does that look like for you on a day-to-day basis?
I would say spirituality is really connecting with yourself and allowing yourself to do the right thing. Consciousness is so important to the expansion of the mind in your life, because when you're on this journey to really decide who you want to become, you start to realize how everything is just simply energy. So whatever energy you put out is the energy that you get back.
Absolutely. They call that karma?
Oh, yes. So being on this consciousness journey, the spiritual journey, has opened my mind in a way I cannot even tell you in words. But I've always been really connected to the spiritual realm. Like, I can see things before they happen. I can feel things before they happen. Like I can't explain it. But the more I get connected with myself, the more my consciousness grows and the more I have sympathy for myself and for others. Because at the end of the day, all of us are just trying to figure this thing called life out.
Absolutely.
So when you have compassion with your growth journey and realize that, you know, our responsibility is to really just become our highest authentic selves. And the only person who can define that is you. Because what you're doing on your highest vibrational frequency, nobody else can replicate that. You know, you have your own divine mission that you came here to do, to impact the world, right? And no two people's missions
Is the same. Impossible.
But we've been conditioned. Oh, you got to do this. You got to do this. You should be like this. So part of consciousness is just realizing, wow, I am whole with myself.
What makes you unique?
This is me. Let me see who I can become in this journey of life.
Absolutely.
Let me work on my mind. Let me work on my healing. Let me work on my gifts. Let me work to see who this thing is, this spirit is. And when you tap into that dimension, kings and queens, it changes your entire life.
That's a fact.
It changes your entire life. There's no words to describe this journey. But this is the thing about energy. Almost every single person I come into contact with is on the same vibration. I just met this man, Rich, and guess what? I haven't even talked to him about any conscious conversation. He is on the same wavelength. How do I know this? I just feel it. I just feel it. This thing is so beyond powerful. So I feel like literally that I have to create works to expand the mind and to also make us realize that we're not alone on this journey, because having a conscious journey, having a journey within yourself, trying to understand this can be lonely sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Because you're like, yo, am I tripping? You know, you start to question and this isn't, and then you're like, no, this is divine alignment.
Yeah.
So it's something beyond the physical dimension when you're tapping into consciousness. And it is a very beautiful, beautiful journey.
Yeah, I can relate. You know, I started my journey, if you want to say awakening and discovering self-knowledge of self at 16.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You could say my first serious conversation with my father is just what exposed me or lifted the veil, as we would say sometimes.
Lifted the veil.
You know, so we started talking about everything from consciousness to spirit to, afterlife, just asking all the questions that we probably don't get answers or clarity about. You know what I mean? We started there, and that journey, I've been on that journey ever since. You know what I mean? This is going on 10, 15 years later. You know
and you're still learning every day. That's the thing about this journey.
Absolutely. And I'm very grateful because, you know, when you look 10 years down the line and you're sitting down and you say, man, like, what if I never had those conversations?
Exactly.
Especially when you know what your habits were, your bad habits.
Oh my goodness. We all have them.
Right. So, and you sit there and you still have some bumps in the road, but it's like, man, but if I didn't have this awakening, you know what I mean? This awareness of self and tapping into intuition, because we all have that inner voice.
Oh yeah. And that intuition is never wrong.
And it's never wrong.
Never wrong.
It's called, in spirituality, we call it the conscience, right? So the conscience is that voice that will, it tells you when you're wrong.
It does.
You know, it tells you, it's like, you know, you're not supposed to be doing that, right?
Yep. And then when you do it, you're like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. You know, it's that voice that will either let you sleep good at night or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? And, you know, spirituality for me is aligning with that voice, you know what I mean? Following that voice, because clearly if that voice is guiding you in the right direction and you just listen, you be all right for the most part.
It's so
you know
true though. It's so true. But you know, let me ask you a question on this. We get a little deep on your podcast, but why do you think as humans, or maybe it's just because we're just humans, that sometimes we go against that inner voice? We know that we should follow that inner voice, but we go against that inner voice. Do you think it's why do you think that is? Do you think it's just human nature sometimes? Is it just curiosity, leaning into our own judgment? Why do you think that is?
There's many different reasons. One is doubt, right? It's like, okay, I hear this voice telling me that this is probably not what I should do, but right? What can be in front of the eye can be very deceiving at times, right?
True.
You know what I mean? So it could be a doubt thing where it's like, what is this voice compared to what I see that looks good to me right now? Let's say it's something about, let's say it's a situation about related to instant gratification.
Yeah.
Right? And your mind's telling you no, but your body's telling you yes. You get what I'm saying? So, and that's the thing about life, is understanding that the outer perception of things oftentimes is not enough to have a full understanding.
The outer is just the outer.
It's just the show.
It's just the show.
You know what I mean? Like, clearly you have a heart beeping,
straight up
beeping, pumping inside of your chest right now, but I can't see it, but
exactly.
It's there. Exactly. You know what I mean? And so out to reiterate to that question, definitely, I think some situations it's doubt, sometimes it's fear. Yes, you have some people that are just straight out rebellious. It's like, I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah.
Which is clearly the destructive path. I don't think anyone gets that far for long with that kind of mindset. But yeah, many different reasons. Those probably most likely being the foundation of it. Yeah.
Deep.
All right, so let's talk about motivation.
Ooh.
Right? Let's talk about motivation. You seem like a very motivated, highly inspired individual. That's very clear. Yeah. Very authentic, genuine, and sincere. Yeah, let's talk about that. How can you say you've maintained your motivation throughout your career up till this date? Because we all have similar challenges. Clearly, we all just deal with them differently. Right?
Challenges is just a part of my life. To be honest, everyone's life. Believing in myself. I can't tell you how much failure comes along with the entertainment business. You fail more than you win. Mm-hmm. But for me, the only way to truly fail is to give up. Mm-hmm. So as long as I keep learning and I keep growing, I'm pretty much good, and I have something called intrinsic motivation. So when I can feel myself growing internally, that's like the win for me. So I constantly challenge myself to take myself to new dimensions. And I'm literally on a journey of self versus self. Okay, this is what I got to do. Shaw, you can do it. Boom. Yeah, you're going to put out your collector CD. You can do it. You're going to put out an album. You can do it. You want to start your company. You can do it. You want to be Miss Caribbean Metro USA. You can do it. You want to be a TV anchor. You can do it. But this is the thing. You say you're going to do it, but you have to put the actions towards the goals. Mm-hmm. And one of the biggest things that we do as human beings, we have goals, but we're not willing to act towards them.
Or be consistent.
We're thinking about them. We spend so much time thinking about them instead of doing them. Mm-hmm. And what we don't realize is every single step, no matter how small it is imperative to the overall goal. Mm-hmm. So as long as you just keep going, you're going to make progress. Yeah. And to reiterate that message, your journey is your journey. Mm-hmm.
You might not win every battle, but to win the war, you got to keep going.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, and you brought up a statement about failure in the entertainment industry. Yeah. Right. So I'm sure we're gonna have a lot of creatives, similar to myself. If you guys aren't aware, I'm a musician, creative in many different areas, but that being the main one. And of course, Chardelle herself being a multi-disciplinary artist herself. So you mentioned failure, right? And I strongly believe in the statement where they say, you define your success.
You do. You really do.
So check this out, right? We talked about being in a new time where you can literally create your own platform. Whether you have the resources or not, you can start. And if you need to get the resources along the way, there's no excuse, in other words, right? There's the opportunity to not have to be dependent. Yeah. Right? Because what I've learned from observation and experience, because think about it, right? There's no right or wrong to art.
There's no right or wrong to art.
Right? It's the realm of freedom of expression. So failure is more so a thing where you're dependent on someone to give you an opportunity, maybe, as an example, and they don't give it to you. So you accept that as failure. Versus if you focused on being independent, you define your success because you create your own opportunities.
There you go.
Right? So just wanted to share that with you know, a lot of individuals here. You know, a lot of time could get wasted if you are a creative. And I mean, when you have to do what you have to do, you do that. But if you can learn, you can learn, right?
Exactly.
Independence is the freedom route, because then now you can define your success, creating your own platform and really experiencing art for what it is. Freedom is expression. No one can tell you that. I mean, some people will try to tell you that your song might not be good. That's not, you know, that's a question of subjective and objective, right? And art is what? Freedom of expression, right? So yeah, I just wanted to share that. When it comes to failure and people in the entertainment industry, I feel like the more we expand and grow and stretch into being entrepreneurs, we can weather that so-called storm of feeling like we're not getting the results we want. It's moving from being dependent to independent, creating your own opportunities. If there's a will, there's a way.
Always.
Love it, love it. So yeah, back to motivation. So the name of your company is Motivational Moore, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about Motivational Moore. You know, what exactly, like if someone wanted to check in and tap in or request some of the services at your company, what does Motivational Moore specialize in specifically?
So Motivational Moore, I would say what we really do is bring inspiration to the forefront. We inspire audiences on multiple platforms, from music, my debut album, Inward Awakening, which is on all streaming platforms. I also have, the Inward Awakening Collector CD.
Glow, baby.
Yes. Available exclusively on ChardelleMoore.com. That's for the supporters who really want to understand and have a copy of my art. It's a 16-page booklet. It's hand-signed. And I think it's very important for creatives to have collector works, you know, because I'm really in that art space. Motivational speeches, poetry, digital contents, so all things inspiration. And this is just the beginning, but we are a multimedia and communications company aimed to elevate the human consciousness. Many of our clients consist of,
actually that. Go ahead.
Yes, they consist of obviously like education, performing arts and humanities, governments, different types of governments. They hire me to speak, to do, you know, motivational works, different entertainment companies, you name it. So
like hosting as well.
Oh yeah. So host, event, you name it. Anything with creativity, media. Event hosting, media, speaking, performing arts, even consulting. We also have a PR division focused on consulting, because I've been in this industry for so long, and, you know, different entertainers and people in the, you know, the creative realm reach out to me, you know, for PR services and just like all these different things. So I've literally managed to have a hub of my creative talents. And we also have different talents on board as well. So it's not just me. Right now it's mainly me, but we're going to be expanding. So stay tuned for
outsourcing.
that. Yeah. Okay. So, you know, and we want to grow.
Absolutely.
You know, so for Motivational Moore Music, I'm the main act right now, but it's not just going to be me. We're going to have other artists that are going to come on board that also have a passion for conscious creativity and, you know, expand to do films and just documentaries. The sky is the limit. I live and breathe creativity. Likewise. And when I mean I live and breathe creativity, it's to a whole different dimension. I'll just go to the mall just to look at the ads. Okay. I'll go to the park just to relax and observe the birds, how they're communicating. I look at life as like I'm a philosopher, and every day I can expand my mind just by absorbing life. Like just being able right now to be in Brooklyn, just absorbing the energy in Brooklyn. Hey. So, you know, I just think it's just amazing when you look at, wow, let me just find inspiration everywhere. And I love visual art as well. So I want to be expanding to a fashion line and, you know, getting into like my sculptures and my paintings and all that stuff as well.
Okay. Well, you know, when you speak about art, you know, another word that comes up, subject that usually comes up, is culture, right?
Oh, yes.
For the people that know me and the ones that don't, I'm Jamaican and Haitian. Ooh! Big ups, and sak passe to my people. Where are you from, Chardelle?
I am from Dominica.
Yes, but you were born in Dominica.
I was born in Dominica, the nature island of the Caribbean. Grew up in DMV. Okay. I'm a former Miss Caribbean Metro USA. Wow. So, you know, Caribbean beauty queen gal.
Pageant girl.
Nice. And, you know, Dominica, I've been very fortunate because my parents really maintained our culture. You know, I come from a very just passionate Dominican background, and I'm very fortunate to have that experience. And, you know, being a Dominican has so impacted me in so many ways.
You speak Creole, right?
I speak Creole. I parle Creole. But my Creole needs work.
It needs some work.
It
Okay,
needs work.
Oh, don't worry. I get it all the time. You know, I'm disowned in the Haitian community. You know what I'm saying? Because my Creole is lacking. Get out of here, you Jamaican boy. But yeah,
I love it.
But I don't remember if you said it was your mom or your father. It is actually the native.
Yes, has indigenous roots. Yes, my mom. Yeah, so in Dominica.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so Dominica, we have Kalinagos.
Okay.
And my mom, she has Kalinago roots. And, you know, these are the indigenous people from before, you know, Christopher Columbus and all of that stuff. So, yes, all of that stuff, you know the deal. So Dominica has a very rich culture, a very, very rich culture. It's a beautiful place. It's smaller. It is the nature island, so it's blessed with just natural beauty, and it is a vibe.
I remember you sharing some things about the culture there. It seems like Dominicans have a very long lifespan.
Yes. We are very long living people.
Okay.
And it's because of the lifestyle. I have family members back home that are just like, America's cool, it's great, but they choose to stay there because, you know, the lifestyle is very laid back. You know what I mean?
So it's chill people.
Very chill.
Peaceful people for the most part.
Yeah. Very chill, very peaceful. And
it's like the other side of the spectrum for of Jamaicans, maybe.
No, Jamaicans are so peaceful as well. Oh, you don't think so? Or is that another podcast?
I'm not gonna be the judge of that.
Well, I think one thing I can say about all Caribbean people, no matter, you know, Haitian, Dominican, Puerto Rico, La República Dominicana, I think we have an essence of spark about us.
Absolutely.
I think no matter when you meet Caribbean people, it's an abundance. It is what it is. You know what I mean? And we have such a rich and beautiful culture. We really do. We really do. We have the vibes forever. Vibes.
Yes. Let's talk about poetry. Or actually,
yes.
Do you have it in you to give us a poem real quick?
Oh my goodness, sure. Which one should I do? You want to do Fearless or You to Plug?
Let's do Fearless. I like that one.
Okay.
I like that. I think people could connect with that one. They could connect with both, but let's do
we'll
Fearless.
do acapella.
Okay, go ahead.
Fear. It's amazing how much power we give this four-letter word, that we allow fear to rule us, dictate us, and define our lives. To the point that we dismiss our dreams, cripple our self-esteem, and those once big goals become distant memories. Fear is a dream killer, a real dream killer that will try its very best to bring you down. Whisper in your ears the biggest insecurities to the point that you start to question your sanity and you lie to yourself and say, this will never happen anyway, so back to reality. But what is reality though? Not using your God-given gifts? Slaving on a job that you hate, not thriving to your fullest potential? That's life? No, life begins when we face our fears, eyes to eyes, nose to nose. And no, this journey won't be easy, but every step you take will bring a new armor of self-confidence and discovery, and growth is a beautiful thing. So go make it happen. Don't let anyone, most importantly, don't tell yourself that you can't. Break the cycle of self-doubt. Go shine. Now is the time to live fearless. That's a little acapella joint.
Love it.
Hey.
Love it. All right. Now, I'm sure you have a lot of women supporters that look up to you.
Yes.
And, you know, especially watching today, what is some advice you can give young
for the queens,
entrepreneurs, entertainers?
Okay, so I have a message for the queens and the kings.
Okay, we'll start with the queens.
The message that I have for the queens who are watching this, because nothing's by coincidence, is to tap into your infinite power and know your crown. It's a process to know your crown, especially in the system that we live in. It's tough to be a woman. We have that woman thing. But I think that our power, our divine energy is unmatched. And the more we tap into ourselves and understand the power of grace and the beauty that we carry in and out and own that, and realize the only person who could stop you from succeeding, queen, is yourself, and go towards your dreams unapologetically, and never, I had to learn this, never dim your lights. Never, ever take that crown off. It's not worth it. Honor yourself. Be bold. Be brilliant. Be beautiful. Challenge yourself to new dimensions and honor that crown. That's for the queens.
For the queens.
For the kings. This is the message from Chardelle Moore. Kings, we need you. We need you.
Say it again.
And we need you.
One more time.
We need you. But honestly, kings, the lights, the wisdom, the strength that you carry, my brothers, is monumental. Thank you for your courage, your beauty. Okay. Thank you for your mindset. Keep leading the way. We will follow. It's very important for the kings to lead. Once again, as I said to the queens, do not dim your lights. Know what you carry, the power of God in you. Don't allow anyone to take it away from you. And realize you are a king for a reason. We will follow. We will continue to honor you. And our queens, we must honor our kings. Okay? I'm going to say that again. Queens, we must honor our kings. It takes two to do anything of high intense value. Please honor the kings. The kings honor the queens. Yes. We have this together.
I love it.
I went into a trance.
That's all good. That's what we're here to do.
Love it. Love it.
All right. Well, Happy New Year, by the way.
Happy New Year, King Tuu Ra.
You know, I'm very much into Chinese metaphysics. The official New Year starts around February 1st.
Okay.
Right. So we're getting really close to that. With that being said, what can we look forward to from Chardelle Moore and Motivational Moore for 2022?
2022 is all about the visuals. For Inward Awakening, we're dropping a visual for each video. I'm really expanding my mind when it comes to the visual architect space. So I've been really in a trance of just absorbing life in a way that I haven't before. So that film element is something that you can really see us expand to. And I would also say,
by the way, you have a film coming out, right?
Yes.
Hold on, we gotta go back a little bit. You can't miss that one. Your first film.
Let's talk a little bit about that experience. Yes. First sale. I have a brief, part.
Okay.
But it's exciting. It's exciting to expand, but it goes back to creativity.
How was it on set? And come on.
Ooh, okay. Film is very different from TV because TV is like this. Char, the camera's on, let's go. Film, you're doing one scene over and over and over and over again. So the attention, oh my goodness, the attention to detail is on a whole different level. I really respect actors and actresses who do this artistry. But it also changes you because with film, you become the creation, right? TV, you're broadcasting. Music, you become the creation too. So different forms of art reveals different elements of who you are. When I was into that set, I got so into it that it was like I tapped into the supernatural. That's the power. Yeah, you went into a trance, and that's the power. You
became the character.
You really become the character. I can see why some people are like, if they play like a really dark character, sometimes they need therapy and stuff because you really become that.
They say, right, the brain doesn't know the difference between
subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between reality and fiction. See, but going into that, that's why you can train the subconscious mind to do anything. That's why visualization and affirmations are so real. King, anything that I wanted, I would visualize it and I would manifest it before it happened.
Right.
And people would always think I was crazy. They're like, and I would say it, oh, this is going to happen. I'm putting the energy out there because my mind, the subconscious, doesn't know the difference.
Right.
So if I can rewire this, I can do anything.
And they say, what do they say, right? Everything was first a thought before it came into existence, right?
Was once a thought.
So that's the key to it.
Yeah.
You know, we like to work backwards, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But that's the key. Everything you can look around at right now was once a thought.
Was once a thought. Everything.
No, it was a thought.
Yeah.
Before coming into existence, right? Okay, dope. So continue. You were saying for 2022.
Oh yeah, so planning to hit the visual space. I'm really, really excited for that.
Okay.
Really, really excited.
Okay.
Also more personal development programs as well with my type of philosophies because I realized
I saw that on your site, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about that a little bit, because that's one of the services that I'm sure some people can benefit from.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about that really quick. When you say personal development services, what does that entail?
So personal development is basically the expansion of self in different disciplines, but really personal with yourself. So you can have personal development with communication. You can do it with your mindset. There's different ways. So what I'm going to be doing in this year is to create custom personal development to people who are into more of the conscious space.
Okay. To
have a place that we can really expand our knowledge. I also have my course, Master the Art of Public Speaking with Chardelle Moore. That's on my website as well. And that's what I love. I love creativity. I love consciousness. I love spirituality. I love art, philosophy. So creating my own sector. And last week, I dropped the Inward Awakening Collector CD on my website, hand signed. I did the Nipsey, sold it for $100.
Yes.
And I said that was very important because the reason why that's very important because how the music industry is designed to pimp you, basically, and I said I can't just rely on streams and getting booked. No.
Right, back to the independence.
Gotta have the independence, and you always have to create your own lane.
Yes,
you have to create your own lane because guess what? The music people, they created their own lane. Right. Everything you see is creation. And it's so interesting because the collector CD is doing very well, very, very well. And I was like, thank you. And I was like, look at that. Literally, my art, my album. People are just buying this, and it's so amazing to have a piece of art that is, also so dear to me that I'm still spreading my message, and I'm also getting paid well for what I'm giving. Because in my opinion, there's no amount of money to art. I live and breathe music. Music has helped me in so many times of my life. And once again, we've been conditioned when an artist is, that's when they should get the praise, or that's when they should get the deals. And it's like, no. Define you right now, because nobody can define you. So whoever you are, own it, create your beautiful art, and do you, because there's going to be someone out there who supports it. And just because you're walking in that lane and you are proud of your works, they will support. But you have to be willing to support yourself first. And that took me time. We talked about this. It took me time, King, to be comfortable releasing my music because it is so different. And I had to literally free my mind. And I said, how can art, an expression of self, why am I scared to release my art in the world? And then I realized this is a part of mental bondage. So as artists, just create. And realize that your work is from you. So how's it wrong?
Put your visors on.
There you go. No, you got to be focused. You got to be really, really focused.
Like a line in one of my songs, Get Something. You heard me say it earlier.
Yeah.
I live by this. This is my mantra every time I need it. If there's a will, there's a way, I maneuver. If there's a will, there's a way, I maneuver.
Hey.
All right. So, a lot of times back to this independence piece, because of how the music industry has been and entertainment industry has been, we, as artists and creators, we can, sit around and wait to be discovered, not realizing that the people that are going to throw the shows for you, you can find a team, do that yourself.
Yep.
The people that's going to do the music video for you, you can find a team, do that for yourself. The people that's going to market you, you can do it yourself or find a team. So there's no excuse. And, if there is excuse, I just shared a lovely mantra for you. If there's a will, there's a way. I maneuver.
Let's go.
All right. Well, this was great.
This was a good vibe.
Absolutely. I'm not surprised at all. We always have amazing conversations.
Yeah, we do.
Again, so, how I'm going to be closing out these podcasts, I'm going to be wishing you nothing but success.
Thank you, King Tuu Ra.
Prosperity, abundance, love, and anything synonymous.
Thank you. Likewise.
All right.
Bless up.
Peace.